Hope you are doing well. Today, horror incident about unseen entity or demon. In this story, Anthony shares a clip showing strange things happening in the house, which I will include in the story. It is the story of a shared friend from North Dakota. This incident didn't only occur with him. His other 5 friends also experienced it. So what happened is that Anthony from a small town went to State University for studies. His other 5 friends also came from their respective states to North Dakota. There was a place called Fargo in North Dakota where Anthony started searching for an apartment to live. All of the friends decided to rent a 3-bedroom apartment there and live together. It is normal for students to do that. Students divide the rent among themselves. So Anthony started searching it until he found one. He contacted the landlord. The owner was an old lady. She talked to Anthony and told him that the rent price was $25,000. This price was much less than the usual rents of apartments around the area. Anthony discussed it with other friends. All of them agreed to rent it. When they got ready to leave the hotel room finally, the call of that owner came, and she told them that apartment was being rented by another family. Anthony got a little disappointed, but he then decided to carry on his research for other reasonable rent apartments around the place. That night he slept, and in the morning he was leaving to find another place when he received call of that old woman came. She told him that those people refused to stay so Anthony and his friends could come and live. Hearing this, Anthony became happy and excited. He left to check out the place with his friends. They then visited and liked it. After a while, they got moved to that apartment. They rented that flat in January. It was all set until March. In March, all the kitchenwares and utensils got broken due to the carelessness of guys as usual. They decided at first to buy a new one from the market. All of them were arguing with each other that who should go and buy new ones. When one of them, named Nick, told them that he had seen that old landlord lady open a cupboard that was locked, and that cupboard had a lot of utensils, so rather than buying a new one, they could get them to use. At first my other friends resisted, but then decided to open it. They opened the locked cupboard from the back place with a screwdriver. They opened it finally and took out utensils for use. After that, they tried to close the cupboard, but it wasn't getting closed, so they left it as it is. They realized that all these utensils had been used before, but they cleaned them and used them again. After this, some days passed and it all remained normal. Until one day when all of them decided to visit Domino Pizza nearby while one of them, named John, was back in his state as he visited his family. When all these friends were at Domino Pizza, they got a call from John, and he started nagging them for leaving the apartment door opened with all important stuff inside. They heard him and couldn't believe that was possible. They locked the door themselves. They told John to get inside and check what if some thief got entered or what. John went inside the apartment. Meanwhile, the others too came back. When they reached there, they saw John standing outside apartment. Anthony, when left his hand on the lock to open it, it was found locked. Anthony and others asked John that he told them the otherwise. John started getting panicked that it was opened a moment before, and he himself went inside. He told them every little detail of how things were left inside the apartment. All of them entered and saw John was saying truth and everything he told was at the similar place he told. They found it odd. They also checked the gas, and it was opened inside the kitchen by someone. It was a strange incident, and they tried to understand it, but to no gain. They let it go. After this, some days passed in peace. After that, it came Anthony's birthday. 3 days before his birthday, strange happenings started to happen around the house. They said that all of them were sitting together in a room, and suddenly the main door started to open and close forcefully on itself. Similarly, they were sitting in the lounge and heard plates and utensils being thrown and broken on the floor. The guy named Josh had a room that was in front of washroom. At midnight, he used to start screaming. He told that whenever he woke up, he saw someone bending behind the washroom's door and watching Josh. But when Josh woke up, that thing suddenly got vanished behind the door. The day Anthony's birthday was, everyone was sitting on the floor of the lounge, talking, eating and drinking. There was a guy named Nick who was observing his phone that was blinking and flashing again and again. Nick picked his phone and suddenly a voice of a female came. She said, "The place you all are sitting is my place. I am also sitting here, so get up and leave. I don't like other people around." This voice was being heard by everyone sitting there. They all jammed, not knowing what to do. They were already horrified when suddenly Josh's phone played a sound. It said, "Nick, you need to go home. There are some problems going on." Hearing this, they all got freeze. Nick somehow took his phone and called at home to check. His family members were all right. He came back inside. All of them got so terrified that they called the landlord at once. They told her the whole thing had been happening to them for all these months. She then opened it and said that back in the years she used to live in that apartment and rented a room or flat to a husband and wife. One day she wasn't home and was out for groceries. When she came back, she saw people standing in front of her apartment. She went in to find that gas was leaking and the couple unknowingly lit a fire. Both were dead. The landlord then left that apartment and closed the cupboard by putting the items and their belongings into that. These guys opened that cupboard and that was why it all started. All those guys decided to stay the night and leave this apartment early in the morning. They left it for good. After they moved out, they heard some juniors got shifted there and the gas stove was opened one day, as happened to Anthony and his friends. Someone lit the flame and it caught fire. Thankfully, that junior got minor injuries. That house was being sealed completely by cops after that because of complaints filed from the neighbors too. You can take a look at the video shared by Anthony. It shows a door opening by itself. It's my advice. If you ever visit, remember to be careful around the river and the forest. For the spirits that are hungry for fear, always inquire about the house before moving. Keep yourself and others safe from any type of scary activity. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.